Auzubillahiminash-shaytanir-rajim. Bismillahir-rahmanir-rahim. A very warm good afternoon to every one of you. Today, we are again blessed with the presence of Professor Hamidullaha Sahab. Professor Sahab is Head Department of Religious Studies, Central University of Kashmir. Professor Saab has authored more than 40 books, has been a regular visitor in almost all major conferences on interfaith, on Islamic mysticism, and the conferences have happened across the globe. Professor Saab has visited almost around 100 universities, and Professor Saab is an expert in Nursi thought. He has also authored books in on Sufism. And today we would be continuing with our discussion, with our talk, and today's topic is Salah and its spiritual aspect. And sir, I'm very grateful to you for your valuable time. We have a lot of people who are listening to you, and I feel very honored and blessed that you give me your valuable time. And the people, actually, there are many people who actually like listening to you and enjoy listening to you. Thank you, sir, for your time. Sir, please start. Bismillah.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Nahmaduhu wa nusalli ala Rasul Kareem amma ba'd. Dear friends, we will be continuing with the spiritual aspects of the worship of Islam because mostly we are well versed with the other aspects of Islamic prayers, and people are laying much emphasis on the external impact of these worship and its varieties. And some people even say that Salat is like yoga. So if you want to make your health good, so you should go for Salah. And some people say if you go for fasting, that will be good for your health. No doubt. Salah as well as fasting, as well as other such type of spiritual practices are very good for our health as well, physical health. But the basic purpose of these all prayers is not only physical, but spiritual in real sense of the word. And we have not to lose sight of that thing. So for that reason, I thought that let us bring this aspect to the fore so that people may understand the actual reality and the essence and significance of prayers in Islam. So today we'll be talking about Salah. Salah is basically the 5-time prayer and also Nawafil, that is voluntary prayers. Then we have Sunan, which are the prayers offered by Prophet ﷺ, and but those are not like farz or wajib or obligatory, but those have been also prescribed for us. But there are some salah, some prayers which are muqaddah, which are very important, and then there are salah like witr we have, that is wajib. So now we will be not discussing about the juristic aspect of the prayers, which has been already discussed by our scholars. We'll be trying to understand what is the spiritual significance of prayer, Salah especially. So I will be just relying on the sayings of the great saints of Islam because they are the people from the field, and we have to always ask the experts. You ask the people who are people of the zikr, who are people of the knowledge, if you are not aware about their things or reality of the things. So now there are Quranic verses, hundreds of the Quranic verses which have mentioned about Salah, that is prayer. Aqimu salat wa atu zakat. You establish Salah and also pay zakat. And then there is the saying of the Prophet ﷺ, which he has made at the time of Hajjatul Wida, when he was giving the farewell sermon. He said, As-salat, as-salat, wa ma malakat aymanukum. O people, take care of Salah and the servants or the people who are working under you. So these are the two things which have just summed up whole essence of religion. One is hukukullah, second is hukukul ibad. Salah is the epitome of all the rights of Allah embodied in a practical prayer. So if we want to know what is the spiritual essence of Islam, we can allude to Salah. And Salah is the complete worship in all aspects. And for that reason, we have been told that there is no time when we are absolved of the responsibility of performing prayer. Although fasting is for 1 month and Hajj is once in your life, you may go for Hajj pilgrimage. And then Zakat also once in year you are just paying. But Salah you have to pay every day 5 times at least. And then there are Nawafil, and then there are Sunan, then there are Wajibat. So in this way, Salah has been made that much important that it has been called as As-Salat Imaduddin, that Salah is the pillar of Islam. And it has been said the person who has established Salah, he has established religion, deen. And it has been said also in ahadith of the Prophet, which have been mentioned by almost all the Sufi scholars, like Abu Yahya Makki, Sheikh Ahmad Sarhindi, Sheikh Ul Qadir Jilani, Imam Ghazali, Mir Sali Hamdani, and Abu Nasr Siraj, and then Shahullah Dehlevi, and almost all important Sufis. They mentioned about this hadith that there is only one difference between a munafiq and a mu'min, that mu'min establishes salah and munafiq don't establish salah. They may come to salah sometimes, but kusala, with lethargy. But the Muslim or a mu'min, he offers prayers with the full comfort of his heart, solace of his heart. So now I am just quoting something from Kashf al-Mahjub, a very important book by Sheikh Ali Hijwari Rahmatullah. And he has just mentioned these verses, Aqimu salat wa atu zakat. Then he also mentions the saying of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, As-salat wa ma malakat aymanukum. The salah, that's a prayer, and whosoever is under you, you should take care of these two things. So then he says that one of the conditions of salah is tahara, that is purity. And he says that there are two types of purities. One is external purity, second is internal purity. External purity is that you should keep your cloth and the place of your prayer rug, that should be clean and that should be good. And the inner aspect of this tahara is that you should keep yourselves absolved of all type of desires and lusts. You should cleanse yourself from all shades of lust and desire. And he says that second condition for the prayer is that your dress and your robe should be clean. And he says that the meaning of the external tahara of your dress is that there should be no untoward thing, or there should be nothing which is unclean on your dress. No untidy thing should be there. But in the inner sense, that you should have earned your livelihood by the lawful means and ate from the lawful earnings, and not eaten from any haram thing. And then he says that third condition of prayer is that the place should be clean. He says it means that you have to keep the place totally cleansed from all of impurities. And second is that you should keep your heart and your soul and yourself away from all type of corruption from the moral point of view and from any disobedience of Allah. And then he says that these are the external and internal conditions of the prayers, but there is another, inner aspect of this prayer, that is, you should have the pure intention, khulus niyat, and when you are going towards the court of Allah, you should believe that I am going in the presence of Allah, and my heart should be clean, because He will never accept anything which is not clean. And only those persons are allowed in that court whose hearts are clean and pure. So this he mentioned. And one important aspect is that you have to make ruku with khushu. That is tenderness of your heart and soul and body. And there has to be tazallul. Tazallul means lot of humility and humbleness. And you should, basically the very meaning of ibadah in Arabic is tazallul, that submissiveness, humility. Tariqul Ma'bad is in Arabic a place which is thoroughfare, which has been tread by people off and on. So from there is the root ibadah. So you have to submit yourself, you have to surrender yourself before Allah. And Ruku is the epitome of that, and sujood, that is the prostration, is the final stage of our submissiveness. And we have to just take care of these things when we are going for prayer. And there was a great Sufi whose name was Hatmi Asam, and there's an interesting story about him, that once a woman came to ask some question to him, decree about Islam, and the woman had a human weakness, and she had some wind went out, and she felt so much ashamed. But at that time, Hatmi Assam presumed, as he is deaf, and he asked her again and again, please tell me what is your problem, you were asking something, as he had not listened. So the woman became not comfortable, and then whole life, as long as that lady was alive, Hatmi Assam means the Hatam who is deaf. He he presumed to be a deaf man, so that that woman should not feel ashamed. This was the care the people, the Sufis, used to take of the people. So he has talked something about prayer. He says that there are two type of ablutions when we take ablution, and water for the ablution should be also pure. And one is that we have the pure water for making ablution, and second is that we want to make ablution spiritually, that is to repent. So when we go for prayer and when we go for wuzu, we have to repent. That is the inner aspect of wuzu. External aspect of that is to cleanse yourself and to make wuzu through the clean water. And very important point is that the people of Mujahida, that those are the Sufis who are fighting their carnal desires to their desires and want to make their self submissive before the will of Allah, before the commands of Allah, and they always offer prayers. And prayers are the best way to make yourself submissive before Allah. And it has been mentioned by many scholars of the Tasawwuf that some Sufis used to tell their murids or the novices, the initiated, that they should offer 400 rakah. And it is mentioned about Hussein Mansur Halaj, that till his death, till he was put on the globe, that he was offering about 400 rakah every 24 hours. And this means that so that they may make themselves tamed to offer prayers with the ease of the heart. This has been their practice, and there's a hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, Ju'ilatil qurrati aini fi salah. I should say, it has been made very, very good for me, and it has been made very cool for me, that the coolness of my eyes is in the prayers. And this hadith has been used by many collections of hadith that has been mentioned. And Prophet ﷺ used to ask Hazrat Bilal at the time of prayer, Arina ya Bilal bisalah, O Bilal, give us comfort and give comfort our hearts and souls by calling for prayer. So prayer becomes a source of great solace and tranquility for the Muslims, and Prophet has mentioned about that. And it is for that reason that a great Sufi Saltastri, so he has said that what is the sign of your truthfulness, that you should be always obedient to the truth. And when the time of Salah or the time of prayer comes, and you should feel that I was sick, now I have to get up so that I may offer my prayer before Allah. So you should leave every neglectfulness behind and go with the full comfort of your heart to face your Lord in prayers. And he has also mentioned that basically we have to just to closely emulate the way and behavior of the angels, because they remain always in the prayers. And when we offer prayers again and again, so we just become very close to the world of the angels, that is angelic world. And this will become just like a part of our provision when we make ourselves habitual to these prayers by emulating the ways of angels. And then prayer will become a second nature of a person when you offer the obligatory as well as the voluntary prayers. And it is for that reason, some now there are some people, they say that how we should offer prayers, and they say that the farai should be offered in open, but the nawafil and sunan should be offered in silently at the solitude and also in the corners of your homes, because otherwise there is every possibility of ostentation, riya, namud, all these things. So they just always insisted that you should not offer prayers in the which are nawafil or which are sunnan in public gaze, so that your heart may feel that people are observing you, because there is a hadith of the Prophet ﷺ. Should I tell you what is worse than the fitna of Dajjal? Sahaba asked, O Prophet ﷺ, tell us. He said that a person may be offering prayers, then he may lengthen his prayer, thinking that people are observing him, and this is worse than the fitna of Dajjal. So you have to be careful of Riya, because when you are doing some worship for sake of Allah, you should not make others partners in that, and you should not try to get their pleasure. Because Prophet said, Man salla yura'i faqad ashraka, وَمَنْ تَصَدَّقَ يُرَائِي فَقَدْ أَشْرَكَ, وَمَنْ صَامَ يُرَائِي فَقَدْ أَشْرَكَ, أو كما قال. A person who offers prayers showingly, he has done shirk. A person who is keeping fast showingly, shirk. And a person sadaqah showingly, charity showingly, he has committed shirk. So this is very important, that you have to just be away from the gaze of people. And Prophet has said, "Khairu salati mar'i fi," best prayer for a believer is that he offers prayers at compulsory prayers, obligatory prayers. Sometimes we are not able to even offer those prayers in a masjid. So, but we can offer those prayers at our home in such times. But otherwise, we should always try to offer the nawafil and sunnah at home, because basically point is that you want to please your Lord, and you don't want to please anyone else, because they shirk khafi, if you want to please others apart from Allah. And that shirk comes, as Prophet said, they be namal, that comes just like the walking of the ant. So you do it, you are not conscious, and you have become riyakar. As Quran has said, "Fawailul musallin allazina hum an salatim sahun." The punishment or the well may be on those people who are ignorant or who are negligent of their prayers. Allazina hum yura'un wa yamna'un al-ma'un. Those are the people who are offering prayers, but they are offering prayers showingly, and they even not give people small things of utility. So this is very important, as Sufis have also mentioned. And then we have Abu Nasr Siraj in his Kitab al-Lumma. He has said very important things about prayer, and this is their field, and we should learn it from them. As Ghazali once said that, people say that for prayer there is only one possibility of huzuri qalb. That is not huzuri qalb, means your heart should be present when you are in prayer. And although the fuqaha, the jurists, have not made this as the condition of the prayer, how you can make it, he says, although it has been not made, a condition for prayer by the fuqaha, that is jurists, but the people who know the conditions of heart, the ashabul ahwal. So for them, this is very important, that they just are trying to know the essence and the spirit of worship, not on the external aspects. And you just have to deal with that, but we have to deal with the internal aspects, spiritual aspects of prayers, and then we are relating what is the actual essence of prayer, says Imam Ghazali. So now I was talking about Abu Nasr Siraj, who has written in his book Kitab al-Lumma. So he says that Salat is the pillar of religion, and it is the coolness of the eyes of the Gnostics, and it is the decoration for the Sadiqeen, and it is the you know it is their very important crown of the people who are muqarrabin. And he says that the time of the prayer is that important, moment, or that important, I should say, the space and time, when a person is just going very close to Allah and he has several type of feelings like qurb. Qurb means that he is the closeness with Allah, and second is wasl. He just wants to be very, 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 near to Allah. And then there is heba. There is type of grandeur of Allah, and he is just trembling. And then there is khushu, so humbleness of heart. And then there is also ta'zeem, and then there is khashya, and then there is waqar, and then there is mushahada, then there is muraqabah. And
Mm.
because at time of prayer, a man is murmuring and he is just talking to Allah, yunaji rabbahu. He is just in conversation with Allah. He is before him, and with all his feelings and his emotion, with his heart and mind and soul, he has submitted to Allah, and he is now just conversing with Allah. And he feels that I have reached to the court of Allah, and now I have to be very much humble. And at that time, he should just feel that no one else is important for him, and think about people who are around. And in this way, then he will just get such type of feelings out of the prayer, which cannot be described. And in this way, we should, and then the Sufis and the saints, they say it is not important for us to just offer prayer, but we
Mm.
should know about all the conditions and commands which pertain to Salah.
Yes, sir.
Because without this, this is not possible. You can reach to the actual, station or the maturity of your prayer. So that's very important. So you wanted to say something?
No, sir. Yes,
Uh,
Ehsan part of Islam. Ehsan.
huh?
Ehsan. As they say, Ehsan. A person should understand that he's aware that he's.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Here they were. Yeah, you're right. The term Ehsan is very important because basically this is the expression of the Ehsan Sufis have made. And it
Mm.
is Imam Shahullah Dalvi Ramta in his book Hujjatullah Baliga. He has mentioned Ehsan. And Ehsan is Anta Abdullah ka kanna katara. You should worship Allah as you see Him. فَإِن لَمْ تَكُنْ تَرَاهُ فَإِنَّهُ يَرَاكَ. If you are not able to see Allah, you should think that He is seeing you. To have that type of feeling when you are going for prayers, then you can understand what type of condition will be yours, and how much obedient and how much submissive will be when you are going for prayer or standing for prayer. So this is the point which has been mentioned by the scholars of Tasawwuf, and I was
Mm.
just mentioning about that. So although they have not mentioned the Ahsan here, but that is the explanation of that feeling. So
Mm.
now they say that we should know all the conditions and prayer, because there is no other job of a saint or a wali of Allah than to offer prayers. So they are doing everything for this. And if they don't know all the conditions, then they will never be able to understand what is worship, what is the taste of worship. And Abu Sayyid Kharaz says that when you are going to offer prayer, you think that you are now before Allah on the day of judgment. Feel
Mm.
that you are before Allah and you have been invited for getting your accounts cleared about your actions which you have done in the world. As you are in the you are before Allah on the day of judgment, think like that about prayer. And then you should just stand before Allah, that there is no one between you and Allah who can just represent you what you want to say. And now you understand that Allah listens you and He accepts whatever you say. And then you should understand that I am standing before the greatest of the great commanders, and greatest of the great rulers, and the hakamul hakimin. I am in his presence, and feel, and what type of feelings you can have, you can understand about that. And it is for that reason, as one Sufi says, that when a person is saying takbir tahrima, Allahu Akbar, and what he should feel, he should think that Allah is seeing you, and He knows whether your heart also says this, or you are just making a lip service out of that. And then you should think that on your right side there is paradise, and on your left side there is hell. So
And
such is a great stage which when you are entering into Takbir Tahrima. No, you are entering into the presence of Allah. الَّذِينَ يَظُنُّونَ أَنَّهُمْ مَلَاقُو رَبَّهُمْ. And Allah says in the Quran that this prayer or the salah is not easy. It is only easy for those who are conscious of the fact that they have to meet the Allah on day of judgment. So you should have feelings of that day here in the world. Says you should feel that on your right side is paradise, on your left side is hell. And even it has been said by people that if a person is conscious about the people who are right and left, then his prayer is not valid in that sense. So he should not be conscious about who is behind and who is after and who is right and who is that left. That much concentration prayer needs. And when a person is in prayer, he is conversing with Allah, and he should try to understand each and every word which he is mentioning from the Quran or from the hadith. And he should understand
Yes.
that at that time there should be nothing else than the grandeur of Allah before the man who is offering prayers, and nothing should be also before him in this way. And uh, and he should understand what he says when he says Allahu Akbar. And when he makes recitation of the Quran, he should understand that I am reciting Quran before the sender of the Quran, who has sent Quran to us, who is teaching us the Quran. And then he should understand that when I recite the Quran, Allah is listening to my recitation. And then it has been said, the person who has offered prayer without the attendance of his heart, his prayer has become corrupted, and it has no value at all. This was something which has been said by Kitab al-Lumma, that is Abu Nasr Siraj. And then there are sayings of other very great scholars, because this is just something which is practical, which is experiential. They have experienced these things and then they have mentioned that, but they have relied on all the teachings of Islam about these matters, and they have just given examples of this life of the Prophet and the Sahaba and the great awliya of the past. And on the basis of that, and inshallah, I will be next time, inshallah, maybe tomorrow, whenever we are going to have that program, we will be discussing about, inshallah, other aspects of prayer and in detail.
Inshallah.
Today, just I thought that it should be just the preliminary and it should be just
Bring.
the introductory, some remarks I should make about the spiritual aspects of prayer. Thank you much.
Thank you very much, sir. We were in conversation with Professor Hamidullah Marazi Saab, an prominent Islamic scholar from Jammu and Kashmir, who has authored more than 40 books. Currently, also head of Department of Religious Studies, Central University of Kashmir. A great personality, expert in Nursi thought, or also authored books in Tasawwuf Sufi thought. Thank you, sir, for your valuable time. We are aware that your schedule is tight. Thank you, sir. Inshallah, we will again connect back to you, and we'll see to it that our
Inshallah.
viewers get more and more informed from your valuable knowledge. Thank you, sir, for your time. Inshallah, we'll be meeting again soon. Thank you, sir. Assalamu alaikum.
Inshallah.
Hmm.
Jazakallah. Thank you.